Luca was the boy that everyone at school envied. His head was always full of bright ideas, and his athleticism was at his feet. But one day, on an afternoon when sunlight was pouring through the window, a mysterious wind blew through the classroom and everything began to change. Luca felt strange, but he shook his head, thinking it was just a trick of the wind. The next day, Luca tried to solve a math problem, and got it wrong for the first time. He was surprised to see that his answer was different from the correct answer written on the blackboard. "This is my first time like this," Luca whispered. His friends were also puzzled and looked into each other's eyes. Luca smiled and moved on to the next problem. But a small doubt began to settle in his heart. When it was exercise time, Luca ran to kick the soccer ball, but unlike usual, his feet got twisted and he fell. His friends were shocked and helped Luca up. "Are you okay?" my friend asked worriedly. Luca's face flushed and he replied, "Yes, I'm fine," but the anxiety grew inside him. As time passed, Luca's mistakes became more and more common. He continued to fail in studies and sports. As a result, he ended up ranked last in school. Friends whispered while looking at Luca, "What's wrong with Luca?" "I don't know, it's not the same." Luca sat alone in the corner of the classroom, avoiding the gaze of his friends. The ridicule and shunning began. The warm smiles of his friends toward Luca disappeared, and instead, whispers and cold eyes surrounded him. "You are one of us now," a friend said with a sneer. Luca lowered his head and tightly closed his mouth. His heart was filled with sadness and loneliness, but Luca also had friends who always stayed by his side. Minnow and Gia comforted Luca and said, "It's okay, let's solve it together." Luca began to open his heart little by little to their sincere words. "We studied together, played sports, and encouraged each other." With Minnow and Gia's help, Luca started to stand up again. Every time Luca solved a problem, they encouraged him by saying, "You are doing great." Thanks to their support, Luca gradually regained his confidence. Now that Luca realizes that he is not alone, he no longer fears failure. Luca devoted himself to practice every day with Minnow and Gia, and before we knew it, Luca started solving problems again. He showed great dribbling on the playground without falling. Friends were surprised to see Luca's change. "Luca is back," they said to each other. Luca has now learned to admit his mistakes and overcome them. He expressed his gratitude to Minnow and Gia and said, "Thanks to you, I was able to stand up again." His friends were touched by Luca's sincerity and welcomed him with warm hugs. Luca now knows what a true friend is, and he also discovered the courage hidden within himself. He said, "A friend is someone who is with you when you fail, and when you succeed." Luca thought to himself. He no longer felt pressure to be perfect. Luca lived every day with a new mindset, and one day, he felt the mysterious wind blowing again. But he wasn't afraid this time. "It's the wind. Today will be a good day." Luca smiled brightly and continued his happy school life with his friends.